You were number 2, Cougar was number 1. Cougar lost it, turned in his wings. You guys are number 1. But you remember one thing. You screw up just this much, you'll be flying a cargo plane full of rubber dog shit out of Hong Kong. Yes, sir. That is all. You can tell me about the mix some other time.
Yep, we're number 1 today. We are number 1, no longer number 2. We are missing somebody. Anyways, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whenever you listen to this, and welcome to Trifectas Unleashed, presented by Real Take No Holds Barred Sports. It's actually going to be a 2-man group. I guess you could call it Deuce's Wild podcast tonight. Chris is on the DEL tonight. Feeling a little bit under the weather, so Chris, hope you feel better, buddy. We'll get you on soon, so you poor bastards don't have to listen to Chris today. It's okay. It's okay. Still got my buddy from the dirty south. He's coming in from Lisbon. His name's Adam Little. Adam, what's going on, man? Say what's up.
What's up?
What's going on, bud?
What's up? It's time for T.I. to move out of the way and let the real king of the South take over.
Nice. Wait, so I get to be Maverick today and you're Goose, or is it the other way around?
Goose dies, man. Come on now.
Well, not at Top Gun. He doesn't die at Top Gun.
I'm more like Iceman, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good one. We'll give you that one. I got the computer, so I'm Mav. Chris is Cougar. For those that don't know that, Chris turned in his wings tonight, so it's all right.
You are dangerous.
So quite a bit going on in sports here in the last hour and a half, 2 hours or so. Rumors swirling all over the place. You know, NBA's in the All-Star break right now, but NBA rumors are swirling more now than they have probably in the last 2 weeks combined. But we'll get into that. Today we're going to Face the Nation all show, actually. And we got your theme song. We got your theme song today. Something Adam and I have been working on, so we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a little bit. So, like I said, lots to talk about. A lot of good questions from Real Take Nation. Super pumped about that. I mean, conversations on the show. Adam, you and I have been going back and forth about this for the last 2 or 3 days, and conversations have been going crazy on the page of late.
Yeah, I actually had to to try to save a little bit for the show here.
Yeah, I know. And it's all good conversations, and not just the same people. We're getting everybody from, all over this place. So really pumped about that. I think we're taking, big steps in the right direction. So thank you to all you guys. I know I've been saying thank you every day to everybody that's been, responding to the page, listen to the podcast and everything. But, without you guys, we're not really doing this. So again, we appreciate that.
Yeah, without Real Take Nation, we're just a couple of guys talking to each other.
Pretty much. And it's pretty legit. I mean, nothing really more to say. I mean, it's the nation. You guys are the nation. You guys are Real Take Nation. You guys all take up the nation. So with that, we're going to start Face the Nation now, unless you got anything else to say, buddy.
No, I'm ready to go.
You ready to Face the Nation? We got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
So
yeah, let's see what they have to say.
All right. So let's cue that music.
We are the nation of domination.
Yeah.
Nation of domination.
You like that, buddy?
Yes, sir.
That's a good tune. That's pretty good. Let's face the nation. Let's go right at it. Let's see. We got pretty much everything. Scott Corvo going all over the place with these questions. Even asked you what your favorite beer was. They're called Adam Weisers, I thought.
It's Adam Weiser, a.k.a. Haterade.
A.k.a. Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, I don't drink beer, Scott. If I have any kind of mortgage,
Tastes like I was
very rarely.
16. All right, let's get into some sports. Still a ton of questions. Let's see. First one will be from Mr. Scott Corvo, who we'll shout out. Big fan of the page. Let's do the little easy one here. Scott wants to know, well, I think we all kind of want to know, because, like, what's the history behind it? Coin toss. NFL coin toss. Why is there a coin toss? Why not have the home team just choose what they want to do?
Oh, you were talking to me?
Yeah.
You want me to you want me to answer this question?
Yeah.
It's just a coin toss. I mean, is it that big of a deal? Why would it matter?
So, like,
It doesn't.
it's kind of a like funny question. I mean, look at baseball. It's the only sport that doesn't involve a flip or a jump or a face-off or anything like that for first possession. Like, why does baseball home team gets to be in the field first? Like, why is there no coin flip for that? It's kind of something to think about.
Yeah, I just don't think it makes a difference.
Well, probably
Either
not.
way.
Probably not.
I mean, I'd have to do some research to see what the percentages are on teams that win the coin toss, how many times they win the game, or
Yeah.
it's a minor thing, but so simple that even NFL referees can't seem to get right, as we saw in the playoffs this year.
Isn't that pathetic? Like, how do you how can you not flip a coin?
I think I was flipping coin 4 or 5 years old.
Probably earlier than that, dude. How can you not flip a coin?
I could get some rotation on it. I don't know how that referee couldn't manage to do it.
Flipping a coin. How do you not flip a coin? Like, what's he making in that game? Like, I can flip a coin. Pay me. You getting paid like 5 figures to ref that game? Let me flip the coin. Let me flip it.
But just to seriously answer the question, I think it's more to do with if the home team just got to take the ball or kick it off, it kind of gives them an advantage. They can game plan that to a certain extent.
Yeah. I get it.
You know what I'm saying? So the coin is fair.
Yeah, I would agree.
And
It's just it's
and
just
I
like,
would say that
go ahead.
playing in a road game in the NFL is probably a little bit more difficult than a road game in baseball or the NBA.
Yeah, I would agree. It's just something to think about. Like, have you really honestly thought why there's a coin toss in the NFL or any football? Because I
Nope,
haven't.
Never crossed my mind.
It's kind of weird. Oh, well. It's a good random question, Scotty.
Yeah, that one came out of left field.
Yeah, oh, well. It's good.
Yeah, I got one for you mostly, but I'll chime in a little bit.
Yeah, you got to.
Our boy Elijah here
Yep.
wants to know if the Boston Celtics are legitimate contenders come playoff time, and what do you think that they need to do to get over the hump?
We're talking, playoff contenders. Should they make the playoffs? Like, what kind of run can they make? Is that what we're going to go with?
They're pretty much in the playoffs right now. I think the question was more like, once they're in the playoffs, can they do any damage?
Yeah. I mean, if they're playing in the playoffs like how they're playing right now, I see no reason why they couldn't be a legitimate threat. I mean, who knows? It's kind of hard to tell because Cleveland's probably coasting on their way to the playoffs, and like you know, with your boy and everything, come playoff time, he switches into another gear, high gear. So it's going to be borderline, I wouldn't say impossible, but pretty damn tough to be able to get past Cleveland. Best case scenario for the Celtics is they're able to slip into the 2 seed. I don't see any reason why they couldn't be like in the Eastern Conference Finals. They're bought into Brad Stevens' system. They're playing really, really well on the road and home. Like, they're playing super well. They just, they got a great motion offense. Team defense is great. They got one of the best records since the second half of last season in the NBA. It's near the top. Obviously, it's probably going to be a little tough to catch Golden State, but just a really good record. And all of that really has to do with Brad Stevens, because there's not really like a legitimate star on this team. Isaiah Thomas is an all-star for the first time in his career, but I mean, that's really it. That you got a whole team of role players just playing really well. But come playoff time, I mean, I don't see any reason why they couldn't make noise. But it's still going to be very hard, in my opinion, to be able to get past the Cleveland LeBrons. You know what I mean?
Well, we just need to get that out of your head, of the head of any Celtics fan. You guys have no chance to beat Cleveland. To me, a win for your Celtics would be a trip to the second round.
You think so?
I mean, seriously, look at your team. I mean, you don't have anybody that's a starter on any team.
Probably not.
So, I mean, you guys are, like you said, they bought into the system. Stevens has them playing better than what they actually are. And when you get into the playoffs and you're just playing the same team over and over and over, these teams will pick you guys.
You think?
Your talent just doesn't match up. I mean, in the regular season, you're going to go on some rolls. You're going to catch teams on off nights. But it's hard to win 4 games out of 7.
So what do you think, like, best case is? They're able to go to Cleveland, or play Cleveland in the Eastern Conference Finals if the matchup allows them to get to that point, and winning 1, maybe 2 at the most, if they are even able to win 1. Would you call that a successful year?
I would. And then, I mean, you have all of the money to spend.
Yeah.
Especially with the cap going up, you guys have a plethora of draft picks. I mean, really, I think it's going to be based on what Danny does in the next couple of days. I mean, is Danny going to decimate the draft?
Yeah, we'll get into that. I know we got a question involving what's going on with Danny, but just
but I would say with your current roster right now, I think a trip to the second round is pretty good, because I think you can agree you overachieved last year, even making the playoffs.
Yep. But now you're expected to make the playoffs. So, I mean, without saying, we want to win a championship and everything, realistically, if they get into the second round, that's more of a success than being upset that you lost in the playoffs. Like, would they take a silver lining like that? I probably would, but again, it really depends on how we play going into the playoffs, because if we're limping into the playoffs and we're just going to get smoked, I don't know if I could really take any silver lining from that. But, I mean, realistically, can they win a championship? No, not at all. Maybe like a 2% chance, but no. I just think if they're able to play like this going into the playoffs, there's not very many teams, in my opinion, that can really match that intensity. And it's all going to come down to, obviously, obviously they're going to make some sort of deal for another player. But like I said, we'll get into that. But, I mean, if they're playing as a whole group, all, 11, 12 role players, it's going to be hard to beat. But realistically, they're not going to get past Cleveland. So, I mean, I could say that if they could get to the Eastern Conference Finals, that's more of an overachievement than just getting into the second round.
I think if I was a Celtics fan and they made it into the Eastern Conference Finals, I would be dancing in the street. Because,
yeah, I probably would be too.
If you know anything about the Celtics, their future is so bright right now. They have young talent. They have stockpiled draft picks, so they're going to get better. Like you said, we're going to get into it a little more. This is the future of the Celtics right now is hanging with Danny Ainge.
Yep.
It's all up to him.
Yep.
He's either going to put you guys a couple years ahead of schedule, or he's really going to put you a couple years behind.
You think that happens? Like, you think if he sets us behind, okay, is that only going to be because they landed in your opinion, like a star, but gave up far too many assets for him? Is that what you think is going to set them behind?
Well, if he gets a star, you have an opportunity to get a big name free agent to come there because, as we've seen the last 5 to 10 years, stars want to play with other stars.
Yep.
It never was like that before. They all wanted to be the guy. Now you got 3 guys on one team, and they all want to be the guy, and then they just have to figure out how to play together, which is kind of what Cleveland is still going through right now, a year and a half into it.
Well, that's what I don't understand. Like, when the Celtics did it, Celtics were kind of one of the first teams just in this new era of NBA basketball to do it, to really assemble, a trio of, really good players. It took some time. They didn't start out as hot as, they probably could have, considering the roster itself. And then you got, when LeBron went to Miami, they started out extremely slow, but we all know how that went. Like, with the Celtics, they went to, 2 NBA finals in a 3-year stretch. Miami went to 4 straight. So, I mean, it does take time. My question is, in terms of that, like, are they just like giving up on Love, or is Love not getting it? Is someone not getting it out of their big 3? Is that why you hear Kevin Love's names in trade rumors? Like, would they rather have somebody else?
I don't know if it's somebody else, but they obviously need another piece to get to the promised to help them beat Golden State or San Antonio. And Love is really the only asset that they have to trade away because they're not getting rid of LeBron and they're not going to trade Kyrie. So, unfortunately for Kevin Love, he's the odd man out.
So, with that, don't you call that trade like a major bust? You gave up potentially the future of the NBA. Not saying that he is or will be, but he could be, in Andrew Wiggins, be the face of the NBA. So wouldn't you call that trade a major bust? I say yes.
I wouldn't say that it's a major bust because if out of Cleveland, you're going to get a boatload of talent back.
Yeah.
Just like the trade that just popped across the wire, well, the trade rumor that just came across the wire a couple hours ago.
Yeah. All right.
That would benefit all teams involved, but
it's just weird.
The NBA championship would be a wrap if that trade goes through.
Yeah, for me.
I'm just letting the nation know Golden State, San Antonio, they can combine their 2 teams together and they're not beating Cleveland.
Before we started talking, when we started talking about it, when we were texting each other before I got home, I could see that shit-eating grin on your face the more you started to read what I was writing, and the more, the answers I got back from you, I could tell your shit-eating grin was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Whatever, dude.
Even the Grinch smile.
That's funny shit. That's good. So we'll see, dude.
Just to let them know what we're even talking about, because I don't. Some people might not have seen. There was a trade rumor out that involves Kevin Love going to Boston and Cleveland sending some picks to New York to the Knicks, and Carmelo going to Cleveland.
But you're smiling right now. I can hear it.
What I read, it's all from what I read, it's all hinging on Carmelo waiving that no trade clause.
It'd be interesting to see what pieces are really going to go. So, because obviously we know the main pieces. You got Love, you got Melo, and you probably got, like you said, probably the Celtics Brooklyn pick. One of the 3 that they got left. But in terms of other pieces, because one, you got to make salaries match, and I know that Carmelo and Love's probably are fairly close, but you got to wonder what other pieces are going to go. Like, is the Celtics going to be able to, or are they going to dish off someone like Avery Bradley or a Jay Crowder or even a Marcus Smart, which I don't think that, but. Or even like Isaiah Thomas. Is there going to be someone like that going? From my standpoint, it's going to be hard to justify it if you're giving up a lot of your real good core players. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see. I'd like to see all the players involved. I know you know of at least one from Cleveland that would be on the way out.
Yeah, Timothy Mozgov.
But
yeah, I wasn't really thrilled about that. I mean, you can't teach 7 feet.
Nope.
And he protects the rim. He's not a great defender, but Tristan Thompson's like 6'9", 6'10". I mean, there's a difference between 6'9", 6'10", and 7 feet.
To me, if they do that, it's going to be another Miami Heat situation. They're going to have, they're going to be playing small ball again. That's what Miami severely lacked. Like, their only legitimate 7-footer. Actually, I don't even call him legitimate. It was when they had Zydrunas Ilgauskas. I don't even count.
Yeah, but if you look back to the finals last year, the Warriors decimated them when they went small.
Yeah. Well, if they play San Antonio, they'll get smoked, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, they do got the 2 bigs, but Duncan's not Duncan from 10 years ago.
No, but Aldridge.
Yeah.
Kawhi's playing at a MVP level.
To me, San Antonio has one legit defender, and that's Kawhi Leonard. And if this trade goes through, who's he going to... LeBron or Melo?
Well,
he's going to have to pick,
guard LeBron.
And they're going to have to...
I don't know. Like, do you think Carmelo would single-handedly... Well, I don't know. Obviously, we've seen Carmelo single-handedly win games. I hate you, man. Like, how could you guys, need Carmelo? God. Jesus. I don't know.
Have you seen Donald Trump lately? The rich get richer.
What do you do?
Yeah, he's just rich, and he makes millions of dollars every day. The rich get richer, man. That's just how it is.
Yeah, unfortunately. Some people got to live check by check.
You would get Kevin Love out of this deal, which is a good piece to start building with.
I don't think they just get Kevin Love. The Celtics are going to probably have to give up probably 2 to 3, maybe to 4 players and picks. Like, what else do they get back? They don't just get Kevin Love, do they?
I think so. I don't think thing that you're thinking. I just don't see how you would give up that much and only get Kevin Love. So, I would say definitely pick probably somebody just to help out on salary, like a David Lee.
Lee's going somewhere. He's going to be gone before the deadline. The guy's been a professional. I kind of feel bad for him, but offensively and defensively, he's stuck in concrete.
Yeah,
just not what he was. But anyways, obviously,
he's a white guy.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it comes down to. Well, so is Kevin Love.
Yeah, but Kevin Love's like a surfer white guy. See his hair?
Yeah, he is from Cal. Well, he went to UCLA, but actually no, isn't he from Seattle? Aren't him, Isaiah, and Avery Bradley and Jamal Crawford all from Washington?
Yeah,
something like that. Oh well. Yeah. Either way, either way, this trade would be one of the craziest that we've seen in quite some time, right?
I think so. Do you think it would be one of the biggest trades ever? I mean,
probably. The Celtics had the Garnett one.
Marquee name.
There's a lot of marquee names. Well, Love and Anthony are really marquee names, but nothing that really comes to the top of my mind. Like when the Celtics got Garnett, the biggest name going from Boston was Al Jefferson and Gerald Green, and those guys were really kind of unproven. What didn't Bosh sign with Miami? In terms of players, I don't think so. This might be the biggest one. I'm trying to think back to even 80s and 70s and all that. I can't. I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, didn't you guys get Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish in a trade together?
I believe Parrish came on his own. I thought the Celtics actually drafted McHale, but don't quote me on that. McHale played, what was it? It wasn't Seattle. I think he played in Golden State or something like that. But either way, can't really think of very many after that.
No, I think the last big deal was probably do you think it was Dwight? He's probably the biggest name.
Yeah, he got traded to L.A. What did Orlando get out of that? Bag of balls
Just like draft picks.
That turned into what?
I think they got Alfred Payton out of that. Not sure if they got Oladipo out of that or if that was just because they were terrible.
They were pretty bad, dude.
Even like a couple years ago, the Melo. I mean, New York decimated the team to get Melo.
Yeah, that's true. Gallinari was kind of injured, but had the potential there. Do you like Gallinari? Do you like his game?
He's okay. I mean, I'd put him on the. He's not an all-star level, but he's below that.
Yeah,
but not much. He'd be a good role player on the team.
Yeah, there was a ton of Gallinari to Celtics rumors, and I didn't really understand why. He's a pretty good scorer. Defensively, probably pretty suspect. Would have to obviously buy into Stevens' system, but I don't know. He's offensively talented. He wouldn't be a bad pickup for you guys.
No,
he shoot the three.
It's like the third or fourth time Brad Stevens' name came up, and I heard something today. I just want to get your take on it. That he's guaranteed to win Coach of the Year. Do you agree with that?
I don't disagree with it. I mean, again, look at his roster. But look at his roster. Look at his roster. Look what he's working with. Like, Isaiah Thomas is really it. I mean, in terms of a go-to guy. But you got Isaiah, Jay Crowder, Avery Bradley, Marcus Smart, Kelly Olynyk, Jared Sullinger, Amir Johnson, friggin' who else? Jonas Jerebko, Evan Turner,
David Lee.
And they're sitting in a 3 seed in the Eastern Conference. The guy's got to at least be in the top 2 in voting. I mean, who else would... I mean, the Golden State, I mean, that's been mostly Luke Walton this year, but Popovich will probably get votes. Can you really go against that? I mean...
Well, do you take into coaches an Eastern Conference team and they're so bad in the East?
It's...
Like, if Boston played a Western Conference schedule, they wouldn't be sitting at the 3 seed. They'd be lucky to be an 8.
You might be right. But, they got to play the schedule.
I think he's a great coach.
And they got to play the schedule.
True. I mean, Stevens is a good coach. He's making the most out of nothing.
Obviously.
But
seriously, take a second and think about who he's got on his team.
I know he trots out 5 role players.
Yep.
On any other team.
Yep.
But he's almost built the Celtics to me. It's almost like his Butler teams. No name, decent players, no stars, and they just go out and they work. They buy into the system. They play. They're not terrible offensively, but good enough to win games, and they lock people up.
Celtics are one of the top scoring teams in the NBA. I don't know if you know that.
Conference again.
I don't care. Neither should you. Let's go on to the next question.
You bleed green.
Huh?
You bleed green.
I do bleed green. We'll get into that later, too. I bleed green, bitch. I got an actual question for you.
Okay. Hit me up.
Aside from the Melo rumor, obviously that's got the juices going a little bit, but do you guys, I say you guys, I mean, you're a LeBron fan, so where LeBron goes, you go. But whereas he's in Cleveland, I'll just call it your team. Outside of Melo, do they need to make a move? And if they do, who? Or what?
They need to make a move desperately, and they need some shooters on that team. And if you look back to the LeBron Heat teams, yes, he had Wade and he had Bosch, but he had a bunch of shooters lined up all around him.
Yeah.
Just what they did was shoot the ball. They'd stand at the 3-point line. Wade or LeBron would drive the hole. When they got the double team to kick it out, they'd knock down wide open threes.
Yep.
So and Cleveland doesn't have that. I mean, they got J.R. Smith, I guess.
Too streaky. You know that. Way too streaky to be like to have to be counted on. You know what I mean?
And then you got James Jones, a.k.a. LeBron's fucking 11th toe. Follows him around
nasty.
everywhere.
That's gross.
The one guy that I would love for them to go get, but I haven't heard his name even being shopped, and J.J. Redick.
Yep. It's Chris's boy, and one of Scott Corvo's favorite players. He's a dookie.
Oh, I hate J.J.
You hate J.J.? Did you say you hate J.J.?
No, I said I hate Duke, but I love J.J.
Oh. Yeah, I was going to say you hate J.J., but you need to go get him. That makes no sense. He makes a ton of sense for your team. But I like to think you'd have to probably give up quite a bit to get him because he's a pretty big part of the Clippers, and if they're going to be successful, he's going to be a huge part of that, believe it or not.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really anybody out there that fits the shooter role. Maybe a Kyle Korver. I mean, from what I hear, Atlanta blew up that debacle they have.
They're ready to blow that team up, and I get it. They're kind of underachieving after being a 1 seed. They went 60-22 last year, and I think they're like a 7th or 6th seed right now. I like to think that it's a really like a veteran laden team, so I like to think that they'd probably be able to turn it around in the second half. So like, why would they blow it up? Like, I guess I can understand them potentially trying to get rid of Horford because they probably feel like he's going to move on without him. So you want to get something for him while you have a chance, but. I mean, like you said, the Eastern Conference is weak. So why wouldn't they just try to get into the upper half of the Eastern Conference, you know?
No, I understand, but let's just if they're going to blow the team up, I'll take Korver on the Cavs. He's another one that fits into the system perfectly.
Yeah, he would fit perfectly.
Just stand there and shoot.
Yep. LeBron will do whatever he's got to do and kick it out to him. You guys are set up pretty well.
Yeah. But it all changes if Melo comes.
Yep, pretty much. Which means Love probably ends up here. I don't know how I feel about it. Again, I don't know what the moving pieces would be from the Celtics.
What changed your opinion on that? Because I remember before the season started, you and a lot of Celtics fans that I know were just in love with Kevin Love. They wanted him so bad.
Yeah.
Is it just based on you might have to give up something to get him now?
Yeah, well, he was a free agent last year, or opted out to potentially sign a new deal, which he ended up doing with the Cavs. At that point, you didn't have to give up anything to get him. I was ready to give up Olynyk or Sullinger or Crowder or any of that to really go get Kevin Love. But, as you're seeing now, they're turning into really pretty good players. I mean, I was not a fan of the Olynyk deal, or the Olynyk, him getting drafted by he got drafted by the Mavericks and traded to the Celtics, but I was not a big fan of that. I wasn't even a fan of Olynyk when he was one of the top college players at Gonzaga. But he's turning into a really, really serviceable center. That was somebody that could stretch the floor. He shoots the three very well. He's shooting over 40% from three-point land. So, for me, it'd be tough to give someone like that up. Sullinger, I go kind of back and forth with. He's kind of inconsistent, but probably the Celtics' best rebounder.
He shoots too many threes for me.
Yes, I agree with that. He shoots 26% from three-point land. That's terrible. It's not helping his stock any whatsoever. But just in terms of the players, I guess for me it's probably more of an attachment than anything, or having to give up a bunch of assets. But I mean, I would do it. I just wouldn't give up way too much where it hinders your future, like you referred to earlier. You know what I mean? Because you put your eggs in a basket for Kevin Love, and you want to go try to get Durant. I mean, that's going to cost money, but you still got to fill out your roster. And if it's only Isaiah, Durant, and Kevin Love, I mean, you're kind of stuck in the mud at that point because you don't really have anybody else that you can friggin' throw on the floor that's going to be successful. But I don't know, maybe Brad turns them into something.
Yeah. Well, even like you just said, Isaiah, Durant, and Kevin Love, that's not going to put you over the top. I mean, as you can see in Cleveland right now, I'd do it like this: LeBron, Kevin Durant, they kind of just cancel each other out.
Yeah.
You got Kevin Love, which is what the Cavs have now, and Kyrie is better than Isaiah Thomas. Like that's not even close.
Yeah.
So I mean, even getting Durant and Love, that's not going to put you over the top.
Well, it's all dependent on who else is there, because I'm not saying that the Celtics leapfrog Cleveland at that point, but you still got other players you got to play on the floor, and if their role players are going to suck, then the three that they got there are going to be obsolete because they're going to have to score 85% of the points. So, I mean, if you don't have a solid rotational team, they're not going to be successful to begin with, and that's what Cleveland's running into right now. I mean, LeBron can only do so much.
LeBron can do everything.
Well, I know LeBron can do everything, man, but he can't.
All right, let's move on to another question here, but I'm going to stay with your Celtics.
Right.
Ryan wants to know what you think of the new rumor floating around about Rondo and DeMarcus Cousins coming to Boston for Kelly Olynyk, Jared Sullinger, and Evan Turner. Is that something that you would do?
Yikes. The Rondo thing is kind of news to me. I remember Ryan, my boy Ryan, writing that on the page, and the Rondo thing was kind of new to me. But even we'll call it a legitimate rumor. The Rondo thing, to me, it doesn't make too much sense because, for one, you got rid of him last year. You got a pretty good first round pick out of it. There's a chance that Dallas could miss the playoffs. I'm not saying they're going to. They're probably not, just because I said that. But it has the potential to be a pretty high pick, a lottery pick. But he was an issue with Brad Stevens last year. Brad Stevens' offense is all predicated on motion and movement, and Rondo likes to dribble the air out of the shot clock. So for me, I don't understand how that would work. Rondo's having a really good year this year, very Rondo-esque, early Celtics years, if you will. So he's building up some stock for himself. He's gonna get paid this summer. The Rondo thing doesn't make too much sense to me, but Boogie, man, I love Boogie. I hate his attitude, but I mean, you can't teach 6'11", 7 feet, 25, 26 points a game, 10 rebounds, 3-4 assists. You can't teach that. And he's 24, 25 years old. I would do a lot to get Boogie. But, you have to give up Kelly and Sully. Turner, to me, you can find Turner really anywhere on any team. He's kind of a point forward, but, he shoots 14% from three-point land. And he averages 10 points. So you can get that really anywhere. Brooklyn pick. No, go ahead, man.
I was going to say, I just don't see. If I was Danny, there is no way in hell I would even consider this deal.
No, I agree.
No way I would want them head in my team.
You wouldn't want Boogie on your team? I mean, come on, man. You're full of shit. Like, he is nasty. Like, he is so good. He if you have him for probably the next 10 years, which will all be his prime.
Yeah, but he's like Rasheed Wallace, man. He's a loose cannon.
Well, yeah.
He might get suspended because he's got too many technicals. You never and he obviously doesn't care for his coach right now. So
he's got no respect for his coach.
Could he come into Boston and buy into the system and deal with Stevens? I don't know. I mean, maybe he needs a change in scenery. Maybe it'll be a good thing for him.
It's possible. Like, do the people on the Celtics buy into Brad Stevens' system because they're all role players? Like, would it be completely different if there was a star here?
I think so.
You think?
I think so. I mean, not that Rondo is a huge star, but I mean,
He was
when
one of the top
Stevens was
point
there,
guards.
I mean, he was probably the best player on your team,
Yeah.
and he I don't, he's got a case of the Hanley Ramirez.
Ah, stop bringing up my boy.
Oh, he's terrible.
Stop bringing up Hanley. He didn't do anything to you.
No, he actually made my life more enjoyable by
You're such a
doing the
dick.
shit that he did.
Resurgent year. MVP candidate. Topic for another discussion, though. I wish we'd get some Hanley Ramirez questions.
I almost introduced your new bit right there.
Oh, just don't.
You just don't.
That's going to be a new segment. That's going to be a lot of fun. That one's going to be a lot of fun, I think. So, but in terms of this trade, would I do it? Probably not. But it's close. Like I mean, I got an affinity for Boogie. Like
Okay.
DeMarcus
Would
Cousins
you-
is going to be really good. He's good now. He's going to be good 5, 6, 7 years from now.
Would you do this trade and then turn around and flip Rondo to another team?
Yeah, I would do. Just depends like who you get back. I mean, like Rondo is still like he could get you something in return, and
Because
not crap.
putting Rondo on your team right now takes your only all-star off the floor.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. We'll see though, dude. Like I mean, the trade's probably not going to happen. It's a hell of a rumor. It wouldn't be. Well, it would probably be more of a detriment for Rondo to come back to Boston, but, you know, Sacramento gets probably some salary cap relief because Cousins is still on a rookie deal, so they'd have to sign him to a max deal at some point. Sacramento gets back some good young talent, controllable talent. So, I don't know. If I had to do it, or if I had the opportunity to pull the trigger, I probably wouldn't at all. It's a good question though.
All right.
Let's see what we
That's a
got
good
here.
question.
Let's see. From Scott. You want to do the one from Scott? Scott was actually posted on the page about a new football league coming to fruition here in the States. It's going to be called Major League Football. He wants to know what you think of that, and in your opinion on it, really.
All right. Well, I feel like Chris right now because I really had no knowledge of this at all until I saw him posted on the page. But there's no way.
He's at a Jewel
big
concert right now. Chris is
time-
at a Jewel concert right now.
Yeah. There's no way that a big time football league is ever going to succeed in the United States. It's just not going to happen. The NFL is a giant, and they're
Yep.
not going anywhere. I mean, people are hating on them right now for the off the field issues and even some of the on field issues. But I mean, they're monstrous. They're not going anywhere, and nobody is going to be able to bring in any kind of talent or viewership that's going to compete to that. I mean, when would they possibly play games? Is this going to be like a summertime league?
Yeah, I think they play like, if I read the article right, I believe they play like 8 games in the summer, something of that magnitude. So
Is it flag football?
no, it's tackle. It's tackle.
I mean, really, when I turn on a game in any sport, I want to see the best of the best, and the best football players are in the NFL. So, what are they going to fill the league with? A bunch of bums?
See, that's kind of my question. Like, are they trying to make it into the minor leagues? Like, is this supposed to be like the minor leagues of football? Like, but you referred to right on the page made perfect sense. Like, the minor leagues for NFL football is college football. But Scott's rebuttal to that makes sense too, because it's for people in school. So I get why there would be something like this, but to me, if you're not good enough to get into the NFL and you need to keep playing to better yourself, to me, like, wouldn't you want to try to go to the CFL? or even arena football. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
like the biggest name that I saw on the list of players so far, which wasn't very many, was Lester Jean, who used to play on the Texans, who I believe went to our guy Rob Keefe's Orlando Predators for a little bit.
correct.
He's a wide receiver / kick returner, and that was one of the biggest names I saw. And there was the South Carolina quarterback. I can't remember his name, but he's second in school history with like 7,000 passing yards or something like that. But I mean, if, like I was talking to you at the shop about this, if the best Major League Football players played the best CFL players, it would be like a 78-7 score. So to me, this league makes no sense. It's a league where they're going to try to make money and try to get players in the NFL. But here's the thing that's going to happen. They're not going to make money. They're going to lose money, and none of these players are going to get into the NFL.
I agree with that. I mean, in reality, what it's going to look like is going to be like a bunch of college games without the stars that college football has.
Right. It's going to be like an FCS game. Like UMaine versus Eastern Illinois.
Yeah, something like that. And nobody's going to want to take time out of the day and watch that. I mean, the first year that it's out, or I won't even give it a year. The first couple weeks that it's out, they'll get some viewers just because it's new and everybody wants to check it out. But
yeah,
it'll get old just like the XFL.
Yeah, oh yeah. That name popped up a few times today, XFL, which was garbage, but it produced a few people.
One of the few bad moves my boy Vince made.
We'll get a wrestling show. I haven't watched it in probably like 15 years, but we'll do a show. I just want to listen to the old like themes. I'll get pumped up, get ready to do the show, and I'll walk through glass and just drink a bunch of beers and hold up my middle finger at like my cats or some shit.
And I mean, we got Chris. He already takes his vitamins and says his prayers.
Nice. Let's move on, dude.
So, in my opinion, Scott, just to answer the question, this Major League Football will never, ever produce.
It's not going to produce shit. Honestly. I mean, like what I could see is a team so desperate for like a kick returner for a week because their regular kick returner got hurt and they got no one else that they like either trust or want to get hurt. So they'll sign somebody like Lester Jean to take, 2 kick returns and a punt return. Hopefully he doesn't fumble and then he'll get cut the next week. That's the best I see come out of this.
Well, I got like 5 players that we can throw in this Major League Football league right now, and it's the starting offensive line for the New England Patriots.
Oh, you're a dick.
Shots fired.
That one hurt. That was more like a machete to the throat, asshole. Hey, as bad as it was, we still only lost by 2. We would have killed Carolina if we played in the Super Bowl.
Oh,
but coulda, shoulda, woulda. Oh, don't give me that. Oh my God. You really believe that Carolina would have been, in the game the whole time?
I think that they could have put up more of a fight against you just based on the fact that you have a different style of defense. You're not an
but we can still get after the quarterback. We can still get after the quarterback. So if we get after Cam, and if they score 10 points on the Pats offense is so much different than what Denver's is. So to me, if that was the case, that game would have been 38-10, considering every chance that Denver had to score and put touchdowns on the board. Instead, they had to kick three or 4 field goals.
I'll give you that. With your offensive line, Carolina's defense isn't shabby. I mean, they would have got after Brady too.
Yeah, but
so would it have been a huge difference from what you saw in Denver?
I think so. They would have still got after Brady, but not nearly as much as Denver did. I don't think.
Yeah.
Topic for another discussion.
Topic for exactly.
This one's a touchy subject for you. Angela wants to know if Roger Goodell should go. What do you think? That's a real touchy subject for you.
Where should he go, Angela? To Canton as the greatest commissioner that the league has ever seen?
God. Here we go.
That's right. People forget that this is a business. It's about making money, and Roger Goodell has put more money in the owners' pockets than any person before them.
How many times have I told you that in today's day and age, anybody can walk into that position and make that league money? Social media, television, whatever. Anybody that's in Roger Goodell's position could make that league money.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question to piggyback off this. Why should he go? Why does he take so much heat? What has he done that's wrong? He's improved player safety, or at least implemented rules to improve it. It's up to the players to actually follow the rules. He's implemented a new drug testing program. He's done new TV deals, obviously, for money.
Not difficult.
He's expanded the league to an international level now that they're playing games over in London.
Not difficult.
He's got a team back in LA now, the largest media market.
Was going to happen anyways.
I mean, seriously, what is this based on? I mean, he suspended Ray Rice for 2 games, and then everybody screamed and hollered, and then he changed it, and then that wasn't good enough for people.
So you do think people like me have an issue with Goodell mostly just because of the thing that happened with Brady?
Yep, 100%. I think everybody in New England hates Roger Goodell solely for the fact of what happened with Brady.
Do you think he handles suspensions well?
I think
Greg Hardy shouldn't have played a snap last year.
Who?
Greg Hardy.
Me and you differ on that as well, but I think what people don't understand is Roger Goodell didn't investigate a damn thing. Anything that he said about Brady or the Patriots is what he was being that are hired to do the investigations. He didn't do shit. So I guess if you guys want to play kill the messenger, I can understand that, but you can't put all the blame on him.
So he's going after Brady just because people are hooting and hollering. Is that really all it comes down to?
What do you mean he's going after Brady? Like, why did he hammer him so hard?
Like, did he only go after Brady because 31 other owners were like, you need to go get Tom out of here. This is bullshit.
Yep.
That's
his job.
I don't
his
believe
job
that.
is he doesn't work for the players. He works for the owners.
Yep.
And his job's based on pretty much his popularity within the 32 owners. So if he's going to piss off one but make 31 happy, he's going to do it every day of the week.
I don't agree with that. That is a touchy subject for you. I mean, we don't have too much time left, so I'm not going to rebut that. But you got me. That's good. It's a good point. He's making the league money. I get it. But like I told you, somebody with a John Deere hat and overalls and shit on their boots could probably make this league money. So making money for him is really not going to be that difficult. Thinking about getting, football internationally, not that difficult. Of course you're going to expand. You're going to expand somehow. They play games in Canada. They play games in Mexico. Obviously, they're playing games in London. Like, you could have thought of that. So, I'd like to think that anybody could really, really have, thought of that. So, to me, that's not too difficult. Anybody should have put in the protocol for all that stuff because player safety is at an all-time high now. I get what you said, to me earlier in the week. You think somebody who would have got a concussion in 1992 would have came out of the game? No, probably not. But there had to be something done anyways because the injuries are getting out of hand. To me, injuries haven't gone down since he's been here. To me, it's been getting worse. So,
well, I look at it like the whole country is using the NFL as a punching bag. Anything that goes wrong they're automatically blaming it on the NFL. Like the concussion thing, there's other sports that they get concussions in. They get concussions in soccer all the time. Nobody ever cared about it. Hockey, another one.
Yep.
Like nobody ever said anything about it, but it's a big deal about the NFL. They made a goddamn movie about it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just attacking the biggest dog in the yard. That's all it is.
I get what you're saying, dude. I don't know. I just don't feel like how he's handled some situations, even outside of Brady. I think the only one that, in my opinion, lately that he's gotten right is the Adrian Peterson thing. And even you said that's probably one of the worst things that could have ever happened in the league. But I also think beating the shit out of your girlfriend and not getting any kind of repercussions for it is hogwash. He had a 10-game suspension reduced to 4, and then the pictures came out. Like, come on, dude. Handled wrong. Ray Rice thing handled wrong. Peterson they got right. Brady wrong. Come on.
I guess we'll agree to disagree on this.
I hate you right now.
It's gonna be interesting to see what happens when he does leave and somebody else comes in.
Well, I'd like to think that social media and any kind of technology at that point is going to probably help whoever's next in line. I'm not saying it's an easy job, but I'd like to think that people with a brain would be able to see what the hell is going on and what they could do to make the league better.
Well, like, the way that I see it is if fans really want Roger Goodell gone, there's only one way to do it, and that's just stop buying the merchandise, stop going to the games, stop watching them on TV.
Well, you know damn well that won't happen.
Well, he's not going to go anywhere because there's 31 owners that like him. 32. I mean,
32. Robert Kraft still likes him.
Yeah, he fills his pockets.
Robert Kraft absolutely fills that guy's pockets. Absolutely.
No, Goodell's filled his pocket.
Whatever, dude. Both. Agree to disagree.
I guess we can agree on that.
Yeah. So we got a few more minutes. We could probably do a question or two real quick. Then we'll get into our real takes, and then we'll get the hell on out of here. What do you got for me?
Oh, let's see. Zach, Mr. Fantasy Football.
Ah, Mr. Harris, my cousin.
Yeah, some bitch beat me in fantasy football.
I should have beat him. I was told Alshon Jeffrey was going to play. I was in the middle of something, so I probably got set up. Alshon Jeffrey.
He's probably the one that told you that.
It probably was. Yeah, Alshon Jeffrey's active. Keep him active. I ended up losing that game by 2, and whoever I would have put in his position gave me like 6, so I would have been in the finals versus Neil, who would have got smoked.
Yeah. So he says NASCAR starting up soon. What do you expect this year, and who wins?
I like the new system. I don't know about you, but I love the new playoff system.
I love it.
Makes it interesting every week. Like, you think about back then, like when Terry Labonte won the championship, he didn't win a race. Like Matt Kenseth won a championship, he won one race, like his first championship. So they come up with a playoff system, and it makes it so interesting week by week, especially when it's coming down to the nitty gritty towards the end of the year. So it's like super fun to watch. Well, you got some new racers in there now. You got Chase Elliott, who's going to be riding for Gordon now, which is kind of crazy to think. Like, makes you feel like you're older now because Jeff Gordon is retired. But my boy Smoke is hurt, so he's not going to be in Daytona. He's not going to be there for a few weeks, but it's kind of hard to tell. Like, I mean, you still got Keselowski and Danny, and Kenseth is still racing really well. Earnhardt Jr., I think eventually is going to win a championship. He's actually going to be one of my picks to win a championship this year. I think this is really going to be the year that he comes over the hump, if you will. He's actually my pick to win Daytona. Is it this weekend or is it next weekend? This weekend?
Next weekend.
Next weekend. Well, they got races and qualifying this weekend, don't they? They got something going on this weekend.
You're going with Junior for the 5?
I think Junior's going to win the 500, man. I really do. And if not, it's going to be somebody that's not expected to be up front. You know what I mean?
No, that's usually what happens. You just wait for the big wreck and hope you can avoid it.
Yep. I think Junior's going to win it. I also think that Denny Hamlin, there's a good chance that he's going to win the championship this year.
Really?
Yeah. Not my pick. I don't think it's going to be my pick, but He's got a chance. He's got a chance. I'm actually kind of growing fond of Rowdy. I used to hate that guy, but watching what he did last year is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, the Joe Gibbs team is they're okay. Even though Bush won the championship, I'm not a fan of the Gibbs team. I'm going to give you my pick right now to win the whole thing, and it's going to be Jimmy.
Of course, it's Jimmy. Jimmy.
Of course, it's Jimmy. I mean, he's arguably the best driver of all time. So I think
can't disagree. He's been so
he's
dominant.
going into the system, he got a little further last year than he did the first year. A couple of mechanical failures held him out. I think they're going to figure Chad Canal's best crew chief in the business. Jimmy's the best driver. They're gonna win.
Who's gonna win Daytona?
I'm actually
wrong.
As much as I hate
wrong.
Much,
Cole Trickle. Cole Trickle.
Oh, what a terrible movie that is.
Oh, grow up. That's the greatest movie in the history of movies.
But for the 500, as much as I hate and despise this guy, he's my wife's favorite driver. I'm going to go Joey Logano back to back.
Ugh.
And I hate that little prick.
And he's a New England guy, too, and I can't stand him. Spoiled, rich little bastard. Little baby.
Yeah.
You like Keselowski? Because I don't.
I know. I don't like Brad either.
Good.
But let's end this with one of Scott's questions. And it was one of my favorite ones from the page today.
Yep.
And he wants to know, what are our favorite sports teams from each sport? And I'll start with you, because this ought to be rather quick.
For me,
Sox,
I mean,
Pats, Celtics, Bruins, Portland Sea Dogs.
The top, greatest teams ever. I mean, I'm a Maine boy, dude. I'm born and raised here. So, my dad's, from Missouri, grew up there, but I don't really have, I have a connection with it, but I don't, because I've only been out there once and all that.
Hold on one second. Hold on one second. I got to crack open Adam Weiser.
Uh-oh. That one sounded good. But I mean, all my ties are up here, so I'll just run through it.
Give them to me in order.
In order? Oh boy.
Yeah, give them to me in order to make this interesting.
Yikes.
And we'll just do the four major ones.
All right, yeah, that's fine. Probably baseball's my first love, man, and that's with how much effort and energy I put into when the Patriots play weekly. Baseball has still been my first love. So it's actually going to go like this. Sox 1A, Pats 1B, Celtics 3, and the Bruins 4. And I know, whatever, it's cliche. I'm from New England. It's what I got. This is what we got up here. And this is what I was born into. My mom was a fan of all these teams. And I guess I followed into my mother's footsteps when it comes to sports. So that's what I got, man. I want your teams in order.
I'm just glad you didn't throw the Red Claws in there.
They got some talent there.
I'm going to go in reverse. I'll start at number 4. I know being from the South, didn't really have hockey where I'm from.
Well, you had the Thrashers. You had the Thrashers, but they sucked.
You count them?
Yeah.
So when I moved up north, a guy that became, and he's from Detroit, and his team was the Red Wings, so I kind of latched on to them. Happened to be when they were really good, and Domarov and Eiserman and Dominic Hasek.
Bandwagon jumper.
I guess. And so I go with Detroit at number 4. Number 3, I guess you call me bandwagon jumper, man. Number 3, whatever team LeBron's on. I have no affiliation to any team in the NBA. I only like LeBron. I guess if you forced my hand to pick a team in the NBA, it would be Orlando.
That's because partly kind of where you're from. I mean, you lived there for a little bit.
Yeah. So number 2, the Dirty Birds.
The Jamal Andersons.
That's right.
Arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL.
There's no argument. Fight out.
I want him.
And obviously, number one, baseball is my favorite sport. I'm gonna go with the Braves.
We agree.
Missed a lot of possible World Series championships in the '90s,
But what you
and the
can
last
say is
couple
they
years
got
have been
one.
pretty brutal for me.
They got one. Could be like the Buffalo
We got
Bills.
one. We could have true, but from what I've read from Keith Law, who's a baseball insider, he gives us the number one farm system in the league, which
Yeah,
made me
that
pretty
you
happy.
sent me that article. You sent me that article. I was absolutely stunned because didn't they have one of the worst farm systems for like the last 5 or 6 years?
Yeah, they were like bottom three, but it just traded away every piece that they had, the underachieving pieces they had in the big leagues, and they stockpiled the minors.
Yeah.
Now,
That's
can they
crazy.
come up to the big leagues and produce? That remains to be seen, but
We'll
it at
see.
least gives Braves fans a little hope.
Yeah. I mean, you can't really. I mean, money can only buy you so much. I mean, money can buy you some championships, but I don't think it'll consistently buy you championships. I mean, you got to have a good mixture of young talent on your teams. Really, in any sport, but
that's-
baseball in particular.
You know, see, the thing is, like, you can always buy a title, but you can never buy a dynasty. You have to build a dynasty.
Right. And that's with every sport. But baseball, definitely baseball. To me, baseball is the hardest sport to get into the playoffs, too, let alone win a World Series.
Yeah, there's just so many games.
Yep.
But those are my favorite teams. Just so everybody knows, bring on the hate. Come on, give me the shit about my lack of championships, and you guys are just swimming in titles.
Well, you know, you might call us spoiled. I think I call it being fortunate. I mean, for all of us sports fans up here, I mean, seeing the Celtics go to a finals, go to 2 or 3 finals within the last 10 years, winning one. Seeing the Sox go win 3 World Series, Pats winning 4 Super Bowls, Bruins winning a Stanley Cup. We've been pretty damn fortunate for the last 10 to 15 years. So we've been really, really lucky. I mean, it's going to suck when some of these teams suck, but we've been really lucky. So, I hope everybody appreciates what they've seen, because it could come to a halt here somewhat soon. But
I mean, you guys have been rather fortunate in the championship thing, but how many have you left on the table? I mean, I could like at least 2 to 3 Pats Super Bowl wins, probably another 2 Red Sox World Series wins, at least another 1 Bruins and Celtics.
Pats definitely. The 2 Super Bowl losses against the Giants, that burns a bit.
Hashtag blame Chris.
Hashtag blame Chris for that, for sure. So, I mean, Pats make 2 defensive stops. They've got 6 Super Bowls, and with the potential to, hell, even get a 7th if they were able to get by Denver and beat Carolina. So we'll call it 2.5 there. I mean, the Celtics lost to the Lakers the year that Perkins went down, which actually ended up being more of a big deal than people originally thought. Bruins
I'd
lost
add another one onto your Patriots.
You got another one?
For your Patriots, what about
Where?
that? What was it, like an 18-point comeback by the Colts, and then they went in and beat the Bears? I mean, you guys would have dismantled the Bears.
Yeah. Thanks, man. So we'll call it a full 3 at least with them, and then
I had to get that knife in there a little deeper and turn it.
Yeah, you turned that bitch. That hurt. The Red Sox, when they had a 9.5 game lead in September, that ended up costing Francona his job. That's
Hey,
at
guess
least
what?
one.
My team did the same exact thing the same year.
Yeah, doesn't it suck?
Yeah, it blows.
Yeah, royally. Ugh. So, yeah, there's been a lot that's been left on the table. So, let's close this bitch up, dude. Really good show. Can't thank the nation enough. We still have a list full of questions here that we weren't able to get to. Obviously, we're running a bit over. Well, not necessarily running over time, but it's a longer one than we have before. But I think you guys will appreciate it. And it's really because of you guys. I mean, we have this show tonight for you guys, and we're gonna do a Face the Nation always every show, like like we have been doing. And we're gonna have a full Face the Nation show, pretty frequently. So, always keep in touch with us. We like to keep in touch with you. We like to shoot the shit on the page, go back and forth, good old sports debates. So, Adam and I have a blast doing it. So, keep that up. Again, thank you for the questions. Our next show will be produced on Sunday, and it'll be out on Monday per usual. And that's it, man. Let's do our real takes and get out of here.
Yes, sir.
All right, let me get some music. All right, there's some tunage going. So, Adam, what's your real take, man? Let's do a couple of pieces here.
Okay. My first real take is I'm feedback off of everything that you just said. It's just the way that the nation has stepped up and helped us along on this journey. It just goes to prove you don't have to be at these to have good conversations about sports, man.
Right. Absolutely agree with that.
And then my second real take is Chris didn't show up so he could go to a Jewel concert.
You stole mine, you asshole. Oh, you stole it.
Oh, just messing around. Get well soon, Christopher.
Get back in game shape, buddy.
Hashtag blame Chris.
Always.
That's another real take right there, man. Let's get that trending on Twitter.
We'll get that trending. If you're having a bad day, hashtag blame Chris. Elijah said that he's got like $2,200 worth of like repairs that has to be done to his car. He hashtag blamed Chris.
Nice.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Hey, anytime you guys get into an argument with your significant other about anything, just say hashtag blame Chris.
Yep. It's going to be the winds this weekend are supposed to bring the weather down to like -30, -40. Hashtag blame Chris. That sucks. But my real takes, man, I'll piggyback off your what you were saying about the nation. I mean, I know I got into it a little bit before, but I mean, just the conversations that we're having on the page. I mean, it's turned into something that's happening regularly. So, two regular people like Adam and myself are able to do a show like this because of the conversations that we're having with you guys on the page. So, like I said before, without you guys, there is no us. Adam said it. It's just him and I probably talking to each other, not recording anything. So, again, it's all about you guys. So, again, we appreciate it. My second real take, Adam took. Chris, huge Jewel fan. If you guys get this far in the show, start reaming out Chris for loving Jewel. Loves Jewel, especially the Save Your Soul song.
I'm sure he's going to release a Chris Allen's mixtape, and it's going to have Jewel, and it's going to have who else did we say was going to be on there?
Oh my God, I was
Counting
going off on him that night. Counting Crows. I wish I could think of some more. I was going off on him.
But it's going to be Chris Allen's greatest hits. It's his workout album.
That and like the song that pumps him up most is a Shawn Michaels anthem.
I can't hate on him for that. I like that song.
Yeah, but that's like his
Shawn
favorite
Michaels.
song ever.
He's my favorite wrestler.
My third real take, I'm going to make it sports related. Celtics, I think this trade's going to end up happening, man. I think this love to Celtics, Carmelo to the Cavs, I don't think that's a smokescreen, man. I think that has the potential to happen, and I think if the Celtics don't have to give up...
Hold on. I got to adjust myself because you just said that.
He's got a paper towel on the desk, folks. It's got to be more than a smokescreen. I could be completely wrong, but I mean, if the Celtics don't have to give up every single thing on their team to get them, Why the hell not? And it betters your team, and it gets the Knicks some flexibility to be able to get, and draft some people. So it's obviously that they're going to probably build around Trey Zingis or God Zingis or whatever you want to call him. So we'll see, man. That was it.
You mean the guy that got booed out of the building when he got drafted?
Oh, yeah, that guy. Isn't that ridiculous? Like, I thought the same thing. I was like, what the hell are they doing? Who the hell is this kid? But he's making the most of it, man. He's a hell of a player.
Do you think if just real quick, Phil moves Carmelo, does that help him in his coaching search? To get a coach in there that's with somebody that pretty much the offense dies.
Yeah, I think that helps. I think they go get someone like Tom Thibodeau. I don't think, because with Phil, he'd have to be able to convince Carmelo that this is good for the team and this is good for the team. But Phil can just, without Carmelo, he can just get who he thinks best suits his team with or without Carmelo.
And
Phil knows his shit, dude. It's not like
without Carmelo, that puts the Knicks in the Kevin Durant sweepstakes.
Yeah, that's a good point. But again, it's not like Phil's like a new GM, for Christ's sakes. You know what I mean? Phil does know what he's doing, so we'll see. We'll get into that more in another show. So
he's overrated to me.
Phil?
He's an overrated coach to me.
Why? Because he's had stars wherever he's gone?
Yes. I mean, he had Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, and then he gets Kobe and Shaq. Come on now.
Yikes. We'll get into that later. Holy smokes.
Yes, we will.
I didn't think the show was going to end like that. Wow. Oh, well. Again, thanks for all the questions, Real Take Nation, hashtag Real Take Nation. You can find us on iTunes. You can find us on SoundCloud, and you can obviously find us on YouTube. Get a hold of us on the Facebook page, Real Take No Holds Barred Sports. Comment on our YouTube page. Email us, realtakenhbs@gmail.com. Hit us up on Twitter @realtakenhb. Send us a direct message. Send us questions, concerns. Write on the page. Post on the page. Do what you got to do. Have fun with us, man. Let's keep this train going. So again, for Adam and myself, everybody have a good night, a good morning, a good afternoon. Take it easy. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Deuces.
Someone's fucking junk, yeah, I'll bust them in the eye.